bit to what's happening in the country and in the world right now. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, many Indian businesses have shut down and have suffered massively. The handicrafts industry has also similarly suffered huge losses, specifically small businesses and economically backward artisan communities and their families. So, ma'am, how do you suppose we can help them get back on their feet once the virus recedes? Would you recommend government intervention, like you were saying, there is lesser policy attention towards artisans? Or would you say want some kind of innovation in technology to boost and upskill them? Or would you say that we as consumers should have some kind of a crowdsourced project towards buying more from them and thus alleviating them out of their misery?
Well, there's a lot that has to be done. One thing I did find, calling up and being regularly in touch with our craftspeople from day one of the COVID and the lockdown till today, we are regularly in touch with them, the whole office, and we ask them how they are and what they're doing. And I would say that nearly everyone has felt that very positive. They have said, we have helped our community, we have helped our co-workers, we have helped our neighbors, and some weavers who had cloth lying with them made 50,000 masks and gave it to the police force in Hyderabad. And yesterday he sent me a WhatsApp saying, see, he's got an award and a thank you and a certificate from the police commissioner for having given them those masks. So there's lots of good help because they are rural communities. They are not only self-reliant, but they help each other. That is what we don't do in cities. So that's when I say that thought process, wisdom, Indian culture of a rural area is kinder, even if there is caste separation and a lot of oppressive things that happen. That is, of course, there's always a good and bad side to things. But here is one benefit. Secondly, many of them say in the textile industry, weavers would say either we have some raw material, so we're all weaving because anyway we stay at home and work, so we're working. When our yarn and all finishes, we won't know what to do, so we don't know how long this is going to continue. Others say we have so much stock production and we don't know how to sell it. So there are many different situations. People who are wood carving, if they've got wood lying at home, they're carving and sending pictures out. Traditional artists have been the most amazing. It's easiest for them because all they need is paint and paper. They don't need raw material and all. And they take a picture of their paintings. And they have upgraded themselves tremendously. They are now not making paintings of the usual Rama, Bharat, Rama and all of that, which is not bad, but that is for the traditional category of what they do. But they are also chroniclers of their time. And I think somewhere we kind of stuck them in a box, only do traditional. They have a traditional skill, but their subject matter should move with the times because they do live in these times. They can't neglect that there is COVID going on. They can't neglect that you have to wear a mask. So they're doing beautiful paintings of very traditional figures wearing masks. Mothers telling children, wear your mask. Child telling father, wear your mask. There is storytelling going on like that in multiple art traditions. Then just now when this terribly sad story came about the elephant and the pregnant elephant and all the tragedy that happened, they are all now painting this sad picture of this elephant and expressing their sorrow through their painting, which is what all artists do. And therefore their world does move with us. It's we who have kind of said, oh, well, you know, they're poor and they're traditional and they're this, that, and the other. And we tend to become a little condescending or patronizing. On the other hand, while I started by saying that markets are the most important thing, so far I was a little disappointed that the government didn't mention craftspeople because the MSME was mentioned a lot, but in the MSME, the roof of application to be an MSME was rising, which meant that the little guys at the bottom who hardly have any money and who just do a small thing within their gully or their community, even if they're widespread number of them, they don't work together. So they were kind of getting forgotten and I was worried about that. But yesterday I saw an announcement that the government is setting up a huge e-government platform and registering 50 lakh artisans to sell from it to citizens, anybody, individuals, or government organizations. Now, 50 lakh people selling on an e-government platform, to me, is kind of like creating an elephant where you could create many more more easily manageable things. The whole process of registering them, checking their Aadhaar cards, putting them on, is not enough if they don't have yeah, raw material. What do? So most of them can't afford the raw material. They don't have the capital to buy it. So I do feel that there should have been some programs to give them small loans from the bank or some relief money if they were registered genuine artisans who either registered in the GST, whether they pay it or not. So there were small things that could be done. Today, actually, the non-government platforms, which are marketing crafts, are doing quite well, working really hard. And sometimes, they have put up a sale for 2-3 days and done a 10 lakh sale, helping weavers who are in distress, who have stocks to offload. We ourselves in our organization through Instagram and Facebook and is posting pictures of these traditional artworks. We have been able to attract a lot of media attention for them. Lots of articles are being written on the folk art and how it's moving with the times. And we have been getting orders for these paintings. So we want to increase that. And it's very tough actually, e-commerce, because you then get away completely from the touch and feel and the human contact. So now I think everyone's realizing, even big e-commerce platforms, that you have to show the person, you have to tell the story, and then you show the product so that you tell a history and a culture of that person, which is a very important part of India's heritage. So I think it will slowly come together. There are always sad stories and there are always good stories. So we just have to see why are they sad and plug those loopholes and try to get the good stories and the best practices out and spread them. I'm not sure the government has the capacity to do that, but if the government also supports NGOs who do, that would be of great help, because till now, government's attitude always was, we know better than you. We can do things better than you. They've never really, though they say so, treated NGOs as partners, mutually respected partners. I hope that changes because it will make a lot of difference for the craft sector.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Jaitly. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you. This does bring us to the end of our first ever podcast. We've had with us Ms. Jaitly, and I hope that all of our viewers have learned a lot. I certainly have. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been Rural Handmade Conversations.
Thank you.